Hi folks, back with you again for another episode of Star Power Baseball, coming to you from the Cincinnati Razorback Room in beautiful Siloam Springs, Arkansas. It's almost the end of May. You guys have been cooped up for quite a while, and hey, it is what it is. Let's get through this, whatever it's gonna be. You can see I'm even tied up for words. I don't even know how to explain this. So let's get into some Star Power Baseball. Tomorrow, today's Wednesday by the way, and tomorrow I'm going to play a game with a fellow from New York on the phone. And we're kind of swapping teams together, and we decided that we're going to play a 100-point game. He's using retired players, and I am using current players. So it's going to be kind of the old against the new, the old guard against the new guard. And what I'm going to talk about for just a little bit today is team building, okay? How do I build this 100-point team and get the most out of it? And what do I mean build a 100-point team? Okay, on the front of your Star Power Baseball card that you get, you're going to see the outer circle, which if it's a pitcher, it'll be letters. If it's a hitter, it'll be numbers. On the inner circle of that card, you're going to see the player's picture. You're going to see the player's name. And then you're going to see inside of a star a number. That number is how many points that this guy costs in the Star Power Baseball system. Now, I went over that a little bit on the last video, how we determine the points value of a player. Well, today, what I want to talk with you about is strategically building a team using the least amount of points that you can on key positions to gain the maximum amount of efficiency on your team. When we designed this system, we designed it for strategic players to be able to step in there, find these gems in the rough, the deals, the bargains, the players that, okay, let's just throw out there for an example, Aristides Aquino, okay? Aristides Aquino last year hits 15 home runs in a month and a half. This guy's a bargain last year, okay? Now, if you're going to play him in Star Power Baseball, you got to pay for that big home run, that OPS plus, the whole shooting match. So Aquino, not a great bargain, still not bad, but I mean not a, oh wow, look what I found kind of bargain. Okay, so let's talk about what makes guys cost a lot. Well, on pitchers, what makes a guy cost a lot in a pitchers is innings plus respins, okay? Now, let's explain something. If you have a good pitching card that has respins with the card, chances are there are respins already built into the card, okay? For example, if you take the Jacob deGrom card, and he's a +4 respin guy, 6-inning guy I think it is. So he's a 6 and 4, it gives you 10 pips right there. You got to pay for those 10 pips. A lot of points, okay? But you're probably seldom, if ever, going to use all 4 of deGrom's respins before he's done. So why am I paying for those? Well, is it good, is it bad? The guy's a very high-priced card. Okay, how do I get around doing something like that? Because on the WHIP is the way the card's built on the circle. The ERA plus is what gets him those respins and begins to make him costly. So find guys that have big area outs that don't have a lot of respins as a pitcher, get a little shorter innings and start using bullpen games. That might maximize your way into pitching without soaking in a lot of points into a guy. Are you following what I'm saying? So finding a guy that, let's say he's an S6, maybe +1, or an S5 +1, he's going to have respins built into his card, and he's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. Okay. So what do I want to find here? How about I get an R1 +4, Aroldis Chapman? How many points is he going to cost me? Over 10, because of that huge K, the 4 respins, but at 12 or 13 points for an Aroldis Chapman, he's not a 16, 18 point guy. I can use Chapman 2 days in a row for 1 to 2 innings, and he's extremely effective. Okay, so this might be the way to build your team. If you'll look at the way teams build pitching staffs today, they will spend, some of the rich teams, but let's go into an average team. They'll spend average money on good starting pitching. Let's go take the Reds. They got Castillo. They've got Sonny Gray that they've signed. Trevor Bauer that they're running 1 more year. They're trying to maximize the minimum amount of money, and that's the way it works. The same thing happens in star power baseball. You want to find those guys that have some respins with less innings, or have more innings with a little bit of respins, that'll give you built-in respins, H-, W-, home run minus. Those are built-in respins. And don't forget the W. The W is a super effective space on the card. Look at Nolan Ryan's card. He's got a monster W, but that takes all hits away. It's one of the few things in the game that'll actually make a guy respin a home run. Spin the W. Anything but a walk, I have to respin it. Batter spins a home run, respin that batter. It's built into the card. So if you'll find pitchers that have built-in respins, and the W is not a bad thing. The W is not a bad, can be. I mean, if you're spinning a W as a 220 hitter, yeah, okay. But if you're spinning a W against Babe Ruth, be taking away home runs. Okay. So to find effective points cost for pitchers, look for cards that have the respins built in. And the spaces that build in respins that don't cost you anything, home run minus costs you 1 point. But an H-, a W-, a W, an HR-, those are things you want to look at, okay? If you get pitchers with those things on their cards, that's already built-in respins. And playing against the teams that I'm playing with, the modern day players, if you've got a pitcher with a W- on it, you're killing me. If you've got a pitcher with a home run minus and a W- on him, home run minus, walk minus, you're taking my game away from me. That's the way to beat the new guys. Okay, now let's talk about the offense. So we've said something pretty much about building the point system around pitching, how to save a little bit of points here and there. Let's talk about the offense, okay? With the offense, the objective with the offense is to build respins into your lineup. If you can have a lineup that's got 6, 7, 8 respins built into the lineup, you have an offensive scary juggernaut, okay? Batters with 2 respins are very expensive, okay? But if you want a 2 respin batter in your lineup and you're playing a small points game where you're limited to the number of points that you can carry, stay away from 2 respin batters in key positions. What are key positions? Catcher, second, short, left, and third. I mean, not left, center. Second, short, catcher, center, and third base. If you'll stay away from 2 respin batters at those positions, you'll save some points. The respins for 2 respins on a first baseman and on a left or right fielder are cheap, but not real cheap. I mean, 2 respin guys are going to cost you. If you're going to get a guy with 2 respins, you're going to pay for him. That's just part of it. And you should. Hank Aaron should cost you a ton of points. Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, they should cost. Cody Bellinger, these guys should cost you a lot of points. But they're going to cost you less points than Willie Mays, than Mike Trout, than Hannes Wagner, than Rogers Hornsby, Ed Matthews, Mike Schmidt, Mike Piazza, Josh Gibson. Those are guys that are going to cost you big points because they're playing those specialty positions. And the respins at those specialty positions, those of you that have purchased the game, and I want to thank all of you that have, and there's a bunch of them. In fact, right now I'm out of magnets. I'm waiting on an order of magnets to fill 2 more game orders that I've got. So be patient with me. They'll be on the way. I just didn't get the magnets yet today. I should get them tomorrow or Thursday. You'll get your games next week. They'll be out in the mail. Anyway, get your respins from the lower price positions and you'll be able to economically build your team up. For example, if you'll get a first base left or right fielder with 1 respin and average defense, he's only going to, and you know, just average speed, say at 25, 22, 23, 34, something like that. A good runner, but not a great runner. He's only going to cost you 4 points. Now, if you get him when he's a great fielder, he might cost you another point, maybe 5. Or if he's real fast, you know, they might cost you another point. But the respin on left, right, and first is only 4 points for the first respin. So 1 respin guys are great, especially in a low points game. 60, 70, 80 points, 100 points. A 1 respin guy, especially if you have them in a row. Like if I have 3 or even 4 1 respin guys, maybe I spent a little bit and got a third baseman with a respin. So I've got it in left, right, first, and third on my 1 respin guys. I'm only spending about 17, 18 points for my respins. And believe me, when the third inning comes around, they're all batting right in a row. My leadoff guy got on, and my second guy moved him up. And I got 3 coming up with a respin, 4 coming up with a respin, 5 coming up with a respin. Their pitcher knows he's giving up a run. I mean, it's almost a given. With a guy on second, 1 out, and 3 guys coming up with respins, I'm going to knock him in. That's how you have to think about the game. So building a team economically, okay, is going to be, you're going to have to think. You're going to have to work it, okay? You're going to pay points for defensive up the middle guys, center field, second, short, and catch. The better the defense they are, they're going to cost you. And that defense, unlike left, right, and first, that defense increases quickly, okay? So like if you put an R2 out there, he's rated R2, let's say he's a P3 R2, and you're going to pay. Whereas a P3 R2 left fielder doesn't cost you a dime. He's nothing, okay? So that's what you got to think about too. How well do I want my defense up the middle? Do I want a good fielder up the middle, or do I want a good hitter? For example, Jeff Kent. Do I want to put Jeff Kent at second base where he's only 1 point defensively, but he's got a respin, you know? There you go. That's what I'm thinking. Do I want Kent out there? Joe Morgan. Joe Morgan's got a respin, and he's fast. So I'm going to pay a point for speed, a point for ability. I'm going to pay points for the respin. I'm going to pay points for his fielding. Morgan's going to cost me a lot of points. He's going to be in the teens to field a Joe Morgan out there. Whereas somebody like a Jeff Kent or a DJ LeMahieu might not cost that many points as somebody who is faster, respin. That's where you're going to get your points. And that's where you're going to go uneconomical, is when you start getting respins at second and short, catcher and center, and third. When you start piling those respins in there, now you're building up. If you're playing a 200, 250 point game, it don't matter. You're going to stack that team anyway. You're going to have R1s plus 4s in the bullpen, probably 3 of them. You're going to have S7s plus 3s on the mound, and you're not going to care. But when you're building a 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 point team, and like the guy that I'm playing tomorrow, Muddy up there in New York. Hey, Mud, what's going on, bro? When you're playing a guy like that and he's playing against you with a 100 point team and you're throwing 100 down, You got to think a little bit about how I build this team. How do I maximize? And he said 25-man roster, which if we're only going to play 1 or 2 games, I didn't see the point in it, but okay, I'm with you. If I'm only going to play 1 or 2 games, I like to play with 18 guys, 19 guys, you know. I like to do that and limit my points down. It's a challenge. You guys that are playing Star Power out there, and there's a lot of you because I've run out of stuff, so I know you're out there. You guys that are playing Star Power out there, try playing a 50-point game with 20 players. Yeah, give it a shot. See what you do. You're going to be going, hey, Dennis, hey, how you doing today? Man, good to hear from you. Love talking to you. By the way, I need some 0-point guys. I need some guys that don't cost anything. I need 0. You're going to be saying it. I've already had a couple guys saying that. Nick, hello, 0-point guys. You got them. Muddy, hey, 0-point guys. You got them. I've talked to you guys. You guys got your 0-point guys now. You can start building those teams. Bob out there, hey, Robert, 0-point guys. Use them, build the team. And that way when you play somebody, you're going to see, and there's some 0-point guys that are deals, man. There's some, you got to look through the cards. There's some 0-point guys out there, and you're going to go, why is he 0 points? Don't ask, just use him. Find the bargain and use the bargain. Okay, let's do some shout outs real quick. I've talked all I'm going to talk about. Strategy today. Let's do some shout outs out there. All you guys up there in New York, we got a couple games going up there in New York. Good to hear from you. Good to talk to you. You in California on the West Coast, we like you out there in California. Thank you very much. Arizona, we got you out there too. Texas, we've got some folks in Texas playing. Indiana, we've got some people up there in Indiana. Good to hear from you guys up there. And hey, you know, I told all you guys too, one of the things that I say when I sell you a game, you got to call me once a month, minimum once a month, and tell me what's going on and give me input and feedback on the game that you're doing. Dennis Collier, 4009 Courtney Circle, etc., you know, and get the email. Email is warhammerworld@hotmail.com. Now, you guys that are out there, I would like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would be wonderful. Also, if you know somebody playing Strat, somebody playing APA, tell them about Star Power. These guys are looking at charts on the back of a card, rolling dice and reading it down. You guys that are playing Star Power are popping a spinner and going, home run, triple, ground ball. You're not looking it up. You should know after about 4 games, you know what all the numbers mean. And the numbers on Ted Williams mean the same things as the numbers on Ty Cobb. And in Strat, that's not true. Okay? Remember those things. That's what's happening in Star Power. Tell your friends, and you've got friends that play the other game, tell them to watch one of the game videos that we did and see if we can get them interested. In fact, those of you got games, sit down and play them a game. I'm telling you, man, they're going to love to play Star Power, and the whole thing is to get this thing going to where you can play. I'm open for games. I don't want to don't overwhelm me, but call me. I'm playing my first interstate game with somebody tomorrow, and that's with Muddy up in New York. I'm calling him, hey Mud, good guy. So we're going tomorrow to play ours, and I'll give you a report in a week or so about how that went. But the rest of you, get in touch with me, 479-263-3036, because we can go FaceTime, Google Duo. I don't know how to use the Snoop or the Snope or all that. I know how to use Skype. I got that. I'm good with that. But the other stuff, my son's teaching me. I will get on that and a camcorder and all that crud. I'm going to be good with it. By the time it's all over, we'll all be able to play over the phone. So call me, warhammerworld@hotmail.com. Email me and subscribe and like the YouTube thing. Like this and subscribe to it so that we can get more folks involved. Tell your folks at APA. Until next time, this is Dennis coming from the Cincinnati Razorback Room. And Star Power Baseball's here to stay. Keep spinning.